I believe it's saying that it even applies nowadays that every society, I remember Lubavitch Rebbe talked about this, that every society should try to put together laws and enforce them that recognize the 7 laws of Noah. He even sent emissaries to President Reagan. And they had him sign Education Day or something. I don't remember what it was. In 1984 or something. Do you remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, it comes down to the fundamental Jewish view is that civilization is a very fragile thing, and that people need to obey the law, because without the law, meaning I'm not talking Torah law here, I'm talking just secular law that the communities make up. Without these laws, even if some of these laws are unjust, but without these laws, men would just devour each other alive. I mean, that's a basic, fundamental Jewish view, that without laws, human beings would just devour each other alive. So even if some of the laws are unjust, you don't just go out there and recklessly and publicly break them like, oh, look, I got arrested, you know, shutting down Sunset Boulevard, fighting for the rights of hotel workers to unionize. You don't go out there and just, in a Torah perspective and a fundamentally Jewish perspective, and start breaking laws, even ones that you regard as unjust, because that's not a Jewish view. Because without these laws, and whenever you have a legal system, some laws are going to be unjust. Without these laws, people just devour each other alive.
Yeah. I also think that it's important that when, we live in a society, we live in America. When you live in America and they put together laws, they want to enforce some of these Noahide laws, I think that it's a responsibility, it behooves everyone who believes in Judaism, whether you're a Jew or non-Jew. If you believe in the Noahide laws, if you're a Jew, you're Judaism, right? The Torah, you want to support that, right? If the non-Jew, or whatever, the secular society, whatever you want to call it, the American society, your neighbors, are taking upon themselves, they want to do something to enforce the Noahide laws, I think it behooves us to support them on it. I'm going to give you an example.
Enforce the law. For instance, immigration law.
Yeah, but it's not one of... I'm talking about something that's actively one of these 7. Okay, and I'm going to give you an instance. God clearly says in the Torah, right, that what relationships does He want? He says, go, be fruitful and multiply. Go out. He says, go out and marry somebody, right? Do not marry one of your family, incest, right? And don't, try to marry some guy. Go marry some woman if you're a guy, right? Right? Here in California, you're probably familiar with it. A couple years ago, they had a law that they put on the thing, Proposition 8.
Yes, to ban same-sex marriage.
They said, no, just to identify.
It's between a man and a woman.
That marriage should be known as only between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, this is a Noahide law.
Yeah.
This is right on Noahide law. This behooves every Jew to support this thing.
Yeah.
I am very pro-8. I was so proud of California for not just putting that on the ballot, but passing it.
Yeah.
I said, thank God, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a time when you think like everybody's going off the deep end, I mean, and things are getting pretty deep.
Yeah.
I mean, they just, wow, what a throwback. We're actually going to bring a Noahide idea. And I'm thinking, this is something everybody needs to get behind. This is more important, in my mind, than who's the President of the United States. Or who's your local congressman. It's like the world's, what I mean? It has less impact on a Jew.
Yeah.
Right? But here's somebody coming along and saying, let's do a Noahide law right here and now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on board.
Yeah.
You want to pass any of these Noahide laws and put them on the books? I'm going to support you on that. I think somebody makes the effort to follow the Noahide laws, put them in practice, and bring our society up to what God wants, right? Why shouldn't we support that?
Yeah.
The Jewish position should be yes on 8.
Yes.
Yes on 8, and you can quote me on that. It saddens me that I see on my Facebook newswire all this no on 8 coming from Jews.
Yeah.
And I still see it going on.
But almost none of them are Orthodox Jews, and those who are Orthodox Jews are left-wing modern Orthodox. But no traditional Jew can say no on 8.
You can't. It's like, Baruch Hashem that
Only one Orthodox rabbi in California came out publicly against Proposition 8. Only one.
Who?
Rabbi Yosef Kanevsky of B'nai David, Judea, who is the
that's
most
not even Orthodox.
left-wing.
It's not Orthodox.
The most left-wing edge of Orthodox Judaism of any synagogue or pulpit rabbi on the West Coast.
Right. All right. So so those are the 7. Now, we're spending a lot of time on this. Okay, the next.
That's fine. So
The next thing I want to do when I talk about the Noahide laws, is there anything going on?
No.
Anybody say anything? No. The next thing I want to do when I talk about the Noahide laws is I want to give a shout out to a Noahide who I know.
Mm-hmm.
You know him too. His name's Jack Taylor. He's a friend of ours.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, he's great. Okay, Jack Taylor gets his shout out now, and here's why. He's one of the few people I had heard of, like back in 2006 when I first went onto MySpace, like 2005, 2006. He found me and he announced to me that he's a Noahide. How many people on the planet even know what a Noahide is, right?
Exactly.
And this is like, it's some non-Jew guy living in the Midwest, like now he's in Oklahoma City, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a Noahide. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? How often do I hear that? What I usually hear is non-Jews tell me that they had a reform conversion.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I'm not interested in converting.
Yeah.
I'm a Noahide.
Yeah.
Right? And like, oh, wow, I love this guy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, I want to tell you everything. Obviously, in the short time that we're here tonight, we're not going to be able to get through everything on Noahide. I'm just giving you like a brief introduction and overview of it. But this guy's got something that you can hook onto. He's got his own radio. It's called American Internet Signal. It's Q77. American Internet Signal Q77. It's on the internet. It's a radio on the internet, and he broadcasts every day what's called the Noahide Hour, and it's like an hour and it repeats itself. And he talks about the Noahide laws. And this guy's not Jewish. He's never went to yeshiva or anything. He's not. He's not a rabbi or anything. He's just a non-Jew who's proud of the fact that he's a Noahide. And he talks about it. He studies on his own. And, I see what you're doing. And he studies it on his own, and he shares with everybody what he learns. And I really hope that everybody does a Google, and they look for American Internet Signal Q77. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you should be. If you're not a friend, you should friend me. And I always will put up the, a link to him when he broadcasts stuff. And you should check him out. And he broadcasts the Noahide Hour. There's a couple things, though, I have to say. I love the guy to death. I think what he's doing is great.
Yes.
I'm really behind him on this. In fact, I was one of the people who encouraged him to do it. I think, how cool is that? You have a radio show, and you're doing the Noahide. There's so many radio shows, like in the Midwest, in Kansas, in Nebraska, that do Jesus on the radio, right? This guy's not talking about Jesus. He can't stand hearing things about Jesus. He's, like, repulsed by that. And he talks about, you can get like Jewish radio, but where do you get Noahide radio?
Yeah.
You can't, right?
Yeah.
No, this guy offers it, and it's great.
Yeah.
And he also plays like cool music too, and he plays a little rock and roll, and he mixes it up. Okay, if you go over there, I gotta say a couple things though. I just mentioned there's a couple things you gotta look out for. I want to give people what's it called? When you give them entire package, you tell them what's coming.
A preview?
Full disclosure.
Okay.
I gotta give you full disclosure, right? Because once I say, like, go to him, and you hear something, I'm responsible for everything you hear over there. I'm not, okay? But there's a couple things you gotta be concerned about, and I gotta point them out. I hope Jack doesn't kill me. I love Jack. Number one is, this guy has a real aversion to Christians. To Christianity. Not Christians. His family's Christian. To Christianity. And he's the idol smasher.
Yeah.
Okay? And he believes that anything having to do with Jesus and all this stuff, the Messianics and all, it's idol worship.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my position on this, okay?
Yeah.
There are two opinions.
Yeah.
There are two opinions as to whether a non-Jew can follow Christianity.
Yeah.
Okay. Please bear this in mind. When a Jew cannot have anything to do with Christianity. A Jew cannot. Because we can only believe in God. We can't have a Trinity concept whatsoever. But a non-Jew, the question is, can they have a Trinity concept? If God is in the picture, can they also have Jesus and the Son and the Holy Ghost and all these other things? Can they have Santa? And can they have all this other stuff? And that is called an argument in Judaism.